Hello, welcome back to the build. It's been a couple weeks. I've been really busy with work, but it's time a little bit for some updates. Um, so very recently, I've been having some problem with parts between flywheel not matching up and not mating with the clutch that I purchased, and what else? Oh, and motor mounts. So let's talk about motor mounts first. My motor mounts that I bought are right here. I'll put the link in the description of where I got them. They're essentially not motor mounts by themselves. They're adapter plates. They're designed to bolt to the side of the engine and bolt to the stock motor mounts on my car that I have. Unfortunately, there are two reasons I'm not going to go down the avenue of using the stock motor mounts that are in there. One is they're old polyurethane motor mounts that are designed to hold a small four-cylinder engine. And the second reason is during the removal of the motor initially, the previous owner cut one of the motor mounts in half. So what I did, and I have footage, and if I don't, there's a slim chance I might have lost it. If I don't, I'll explain on how I made them after this. But I made some solid aluminum. I lathed these at work out of a piece of 2 1/4 inch aluminum, and I milled it down to the exact dimensions that the stock motor mounts have. So that is 71 millimeters tall by, I believe it's 2 inches wide. And I milled them down so they mate perfectly to the actual motor mount itself, and they'll line up with the crossmember that it bolts to. I'll leave the link in the description on the aluminum rod that I purchased, and if anyone has any questions, just leave in the comments and I'll do a video on going more in depth. Now to talk about the second problem, was the flywheel. The flywheel I bought was Luck Racing flywheel, LUK. And what had happened was I purchased an LS2 flywheel accidentally, but it seemed to bolt up the application fine. But for some reason, the pressure plate from my clutch, DTX clutch, made by Centerforce, was unable to line up due to pins sticking out. So I'm like, oh, it's just because I bought the LS2 clutch. I need the LS1 because that's basically what this is. So I went online. I bought a Jegs Performance. I think it's steel or billet steel or something like that. LS1 OEM replacement clutch or flywheel. I got that same problem. Pins did not line up. And when I got it, it was on a Friday. Didn't get to look at it on a Saturday, and Centerforce was closed, and so was Jegs Technical Support Department. So the following Tuesday, because Monday was a holiday, I ended up contacting them, and they said that the pins that are making it unable for them to line up were removable, and I could visually see that they were. I just didn't know if you were allowed to, just being unfamiliar with that type of aspect. It's not something I've done before. So I punched them out, and now they line up fine. Another problem I've been having was the pilot bearing install. The first one, I just put a socket on there and tapped it lightly and just kept hitting it in. I ended up putting it in backwards. You'd think that you want the bearing side on the transmission, but nope, you want the flat side that has the hole. I'll go into it because I have to install a new one. But yeah, so that. And finally, the last problem was the oil pan, which you can see is on the car now, and I have footage of me installing that with my friend Shane. When I received the oil pan, I received it a couple months prior to actually putting it on, and I didn't notice, but in one of the corners, it was bent. Now, me being me, I could have just installed it and just cranked down on the lugs, and I'm sure it would have flattened out, but I wanted a legitimate, like 100% oil pan, just because later down the road that could be a possibility for an actual oil leak. So I didn't mess with it. I sent it back. I got a new one, which is on now, and I discovered that you are required to have a oil filter relocation kit because the oil pan or this engine and this engine bay does not accommodate for that. So it also came with the oil filter relocation kit, which I'll do in a later date because I'm waiting for some parts. But on the engine block, where that bolts to and where one of the studs goes for the oil pan is not tapped or drilled. There's no hole there, so I'm going to have to tap or drill and tap that myself, and that should be interesting. I'm in the process of waiting for a titanium tap set that I bought on Amazon. Amazon Prime always coming in the clutch. And yeah, so you can see that the intake manifold I'm using is on. It's not on, I just put it there because it looks cool. Valve covers are on, which they're not. But what else? So what you're going to see first is the oil pan install I did with Shane. So it's the Canton Racing 240SX S13 oil pan that clears the factory crossmember and the stud kit that is provided. Then after that, I'm going to be showing you the pilot bearing install, the one I have to do right now. And then following that will more than likely be footage, if I still have it, I couldn't find it before, but I'll really look, of me making the motor mounts, the billet aluminum motor mounts. One last thing I want to talk about, I received some parts in the mail, so we'll go over those right now. Alright. So as you know, on my build, I'm not running the stock heads that are on there. These are LS2 heads. So due to the fact that I'm running LS2 heads, I'm not going to be able to run LQ4 style injectors. I'm going to have to run an LS2 injector along with an LS2 intake manifold, which is fine. I planned for that. And I wanted bigger injectors anyway. So I bought these. These are fast. I can leave a link in the description of what I bought. 88 pound per hour, probably, I don't know, 88 pound injectors. Now you might be asking, why would you buy such high performance injectors? Because the stock ones, I believe, are 30 foot-pounds, and it's not like I'm putting this on nitrous at the time or any type of boost. To my understanding, that you can back tune these to make it so they will be able to run just normally. It would just require less effort for these compared to 30-pound injectors. So these can run at like 30% compared to 30-pound injectors, which are running at 100%. So these were actually cheaper than most injectors that I saw. For some crazy reason, I don't know if it was a typo or something, but on, I believe I bought them on Summit Racing. They were like $350 for 83-pound injectors, and then 100-pound injectors were like $700, and then like 60-pound injectors were $340. So it really wasn't a price difference. And maybe later down the road, when I put a turbo or a blower on here, that would just be one less thing I have to worry about, is buying bigger injectors. Also, a reason why I bought new injectors was I want to have the opportunity and the potential to run different types of fuels like E05 or some VP racing fuel or something like that. And that requires bigger injectors because it requires more fuel. So that's why I bought these. On my wire harness was designed to plug into the actual injectors that were on the car initially, which does not have the same connector as these injectors compared to the old ones. So I searched the interweb, and you can buy adapters. Let me find one that's disconnected. Here we go. So this is the adapter. So on one end is the original LQ4, LQ9 truck style injector plug-in, and on the other side is the LS1, LS2, 3, and 7. I forgot the specific term. I'll put a margin right of what it is called, injector. I found these on eBay, and they looked, in the picture, they looked like it was something that actually was made with some good quality, had good reviews, so I bought them, and they mount up great, and they look good. They look very professional. I'm impressed, but we'll wait and see how they perform when we actually get to that part. So right now, we'll do that. Pilot bearing, and we should be good to go. So let's get to it. So I just went down the street, picked up these two hammers. One's a dead blow and one's a rubber mallet. And notice how they're both different diameters for the actual impact portion, and neither of them fit. So what I'm gonna have to do is use this wooden handle and get in there all nice and pretty light and see if I can smack this puppy in there. Alright, so I'm having trouble getting this pilot bearing in. So I went to the hardware store to see if I can get a tap or something metal, because wood is breaking and plastic isn't cutting it. So I found this carriage or hitch pin, and I'm thinking I get my grinder and I cut this handle portion off, and then I can just pull this part out, and then it'll basically be a punch, and this fits pretty nicely inside, and this lip right here is about a little larger than the diameter of the pilot bearing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut that, and then I'm gonna put on the actual grinding wheel, and I'm gonna massage down this portion a little bit just to make it a little smaller, so I don't worry about it like messing with anything on the inside. But we'll see how it goes. Keep you posted. Alright, I'm back. So cut the handle off, and I massaged the top portion down with the grinder, and now it fits perfectly and jiggles inside. So I'm gonna try this now. Alright, let's give this a whack. Ooh, that's definitely starting to go in now. Now I'm happy. This thing has been kicking my ass for a couple days, because I'm like, how am I gonna get this in? Auto parts store doesn't have an installer, and I don't want to buy one for using it one time. Hell yeah, this is sweet. America. Ooh, it's all the way in there, and it still spins. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Alright, flywheel time. America. Alright. Okay, so I'm torquing the flywheel now, as you can see. Problem with doing that is having the engine rotate, and while you're torquing it, because you're doing the exact same motion as the engine. So I put just this bar across, sitting on top of one of the bolts I have sticking on the engine, and then two of the pressure plate bolts, and it's holding there just fine, so I'm gonna torque them down.